morning, good evening, everybody. This is Coach D again, offering you another 30-minute sculpting style class. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing long sets. So 2 minutes of each exercise. We're going to do what I call a nose to toes workout. So we're going to hit all of the major muscle groups. We're going to start at the nose and go all the way down to the toes. What you're going to want is a mat because you are going to be down on the floor, as well as lightweight. And by lightweight, I mean something in the range of anywhere from 5 to 8 pounds. You might be able to go a little bit heavier on a couple of things, but since we're doing such long sets of work, you're going to fatigue that muscle. 2 minutes is a long time to be doing the exact same exercise over and over again. So again, we want to use a little bit lighter weight so that you can continue the endurance of the muscle as well as give it that little bit of extra push. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up. What we're going to start with first is our nice little 1-minute plank, okay? So I'm going to have the timer on. You won't hear it beep because it is set for the timing of the 2 minutes and 30 seconds, 2 minutes on, 30 seconds off, but I will guide you through that 1-minute low plank. So let's go ahead and get down in that position. Remember, when you're in that plank position, I need you down on your forearms and your body is in a straight line, not in a mountain and not in any type of sag. You ready? Set. Let's go. So again, you're going to be in a nice planked position. You're going to want to make sure that you're not up in a mountain so your butt is not up in the air. And you're also going to make sure that you're not sagging. So you're going to hang out here. Keep those hands about shoulder width apart. You can put them in front of you if you'd like to hang on to them. But remember that you're squeezing your core and keep breathing. We still have about 35 seconds to go. So again, what you're going to be doing today is, again, a nose to toes workout. We're going to start with the shoulders. We're going to end with the calves. You're going to be spending 2 minutes on each exercise. The idea is to go consistent and not take any breaks throughout the 2 minutes. And then you'll get a 30-second break as we move on to the next exercise. You have 15 seconds to go on this plank. Keep squeezing, keep breathing. 8 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and stand up. Take a second. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into those reverse lunges, warm up the legs a little bit. So with the reverse lunge, you're going to want to step back, keeping that body up nice and tall. Again, we're going to do that for a solid minute. Ready? And go. So step back and up. There we go. Trying to get that knee down all the way to the ground if you can. But again, be careful not to bang that knee on the ground. Keeping that chest up nice and tall. And keeping that knee behind the toe. Again, about 38 seconds to go. Remember, this is recorded. So if you need to pause it, stop it, restart it, do it several times during the week, you have that ability. 24 seconds to go. Doing well. 12 seconds. 3, 2, 1. There you go. So for our cardio, we did jumping jacks last time. All I'm going to have you do today is just march in place. Feet are going to be wider than shoulder width apart, or about shoulder width apart. And all you're going to do is give me that little jog. Again, for a minute. Ready? Go. So give me that little jog in place. Remember, you always have the ability to take out the bounce. Just get those arms moving for the little bit low impact. Remember, light weights today. We're gonna go shoulders, my cheat sheet. Shoulders, chest, back, biceps, triceps, abs, glutes, quads, hamstrings, and calves. 2 minutes on each exercise, and then 30 seconds transition in between. 18 seconds to go. Then we're going to open up those shoulders with some shoulder rolls. We'll be ready to go. 2, 1. Go ahead. Let the timer keep running for that. And give me some big shoulder circles. Forwards and backwards. You can start out small and then get bigger You can do a swimming type motion. Again, we're just opening up the chest, opening up the back, especially since we're going to start with those shoulders. We're going to make sure that those are nice and awake. Grab water. Remember, you always want to have water with you. When you hear the beep, that'll be the 30-second countdown. And that'll give us 30 seconds to get ready for that next exercise, or that first exercise. You have 18 seconds before the 30 seconds. So if you need to grab those weights, grab them now. Otherwise, hit pause, grab them, and come back. We're going to start out with shoulders. We're going to do shoulder presses. And again, we're going to do 2 minutes of work to 30 seconds of rest. 30 seconds, go ahead and grab those weights. I have my nice little tiny weights. If you don't have weights, grab some cans out of the kitchen. Grab something that is light enough that you're going to be able to do it for the entire 2 minutes. Remember, what I'm looking for here is consistency. I don't care if you go slow. I care that you're consistent and you don't stop the movement for that 2 minutes. Getting ready. 3 seconds. Shoulder presses. So you're here, straight up. Bring it down. Make sure that the arms don't drop. Don't bring them way down here. Hold them straight up, straight down, almost like you're making a funky Y. And again, the idea is to go for the entire 2 minutes. Pressing up, squeezing the belly nice and tight, standing up nice and tall. You see my waist disappear at the top. The butt ends are actually hitting each other when they come up to the top. And I'm controlling the up as well as the down. I'm actually coming down slightly slower so that I have to work for it. So again, 2 minutes of this continued movement. If you get to that point where you're a little fatigued, remember that's why I told you lighter weights, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to take that break, but then come in as soon as you can. After this, we're going to chest. So when you hear that beep, you will have 30 seconds to move into that chest move. What we're going to do with chest, we're going to do a chest press. So you're going to be laying on your back, you're going to take your weights or your cans with you, and you're going to do a chest press, which is the reverse of the push-up since we did the push-ups last time. I can't see my timer, but those shoulders are starting to burn a little bit, aren't they? Keep breathing. Consistency, squeeze that belly. I know we're getting close. I promise. Should I look? Yeah, let's look. Oh, 12 seconds. I knew we were close. Almost there. Couple more. Okay, down on the ground. You have 30 seconds to get there. Take your weights with you, or your cans, or whatever you grabbed. Your backpack. Heels on the floor. You're going to lean back, and we're going to do a chest press. Your arms are going to hit the ground. That's okay. You're going to press straight up and straight down. Ready? Waiting for that beep. 30 seconds is a long time, except when you're waiting to go. Here we go. Straight up, down, elbows to the floor. Try and keep those weights right across the center of the chest. And again, fight the down as it comes down. Now, if you don't have any weights at all, you can flip over and do push-ups. But remember, you're doing 2 solid minutes of push-ups. So if, in fact, you are doing the push-ups, make sure that you go at a pace that you can maintain for the 2 minutes. Remember, we want consistency through the entire 2 minutes. And maybe even think about being on your knees. No shame in being on your knees. Because remember, I want full range of motion on those push-ups. I'd like your chest to go all the way down to the ground. Here, we're just keeping a nice, even tempo. Our lower back is pressed to the ground. After this, we're going to back. And what we're going to do with back is we're going to do flies. So we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. We're going to work on the opposite side. But right now, we're just working on that chest. Hopefully they've overlaid some great music for you. I'm sure they have. I have my music in the background, but it's just enough for me to hear. And if you need to, now that you know the pattern, feel free to put some music on in your background. Squeezing those chest muscles, even though we're using light weight. Getting close. Longest 2 minutes in your life, right? I'm going to tell you what's coming in the next couple of weeks, just so you know. This is a full body nose to toes. Next week I plan on doing just lower body, 30 seconds. And the week after that we're going to do just upper body. That way you'll have complete sets. So what you're going to do here, feet are going to be shoulder width apart, maybe even slightly wider. You're going to get down in that squatted position. If it helps to sit on a chair, do that. Those weights are going to be in front of you, touching, and then you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together and pull them out backwards. So what I like to think of it is like you're going to hug a tree. Okay? I know that sounds strange. So squeeze out and bring them in like you're going to hug a tree. Out and in. Now on this one you have to brace the core. So we're going out and in. Keeping that belly nice and tight. Squeeze and come back together. Squeeze and come back together. You can also do this without weight. Remember, if you do anything without weight, you're just focusing on squeezing as you're doing it. After this, we're going to biceps. Working our way down the body. Keep breathing. Try and get those shoulder blades to touch. I may have to adjust the lighting next time, we'll see. We're trying a little bit different this time. Keep going, you're probably about a minute down. Remember consistency. I'm looking for that same movement for that entire 2 minutes with that lighter weight. You should be feeling a little bit in your legs because you're having to hold that squatted position, right? A little bit in your belly because you're having to squeeze that belly to help support that back. Let's see where we're at. 22 seconds to go. You can hang on for 20 seconds. Those biceps are next. Almost there. Remember, you get 30 seconds between. Grab water if you need it. There we go, that 30 seconds. Now, biceps is going to be a little bit different. What you're going to do with biceps, you're going to do what's called a hammer curl. So I'm not looking for your palms forward, okay? I'm looking for your palms in, almost like you've got a hammer and you're going to swing it in your hand. You're going to alternate back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for the entire 2 minutes. Keep the arms nice and close to the sides and don't let them swing all the way back. Don't use momentum, use muscle for 2 minutes. Take a nice deep breath. Here we go. So all I want is those elbows nice and close to the side. I want you to bring that can or that weight up to your shoulder. And I want you to go nice and slow on the way down, almost like you're trying to pull that shoulder down, so you're pulling against. Don't just let momentum sling. Squeeze that belly still. You see that I have my feet together. It's a little bit easier for me, that way I don't hit the weight on my thigh. Been known to do that. If you want to get a little extra cardio in there, then you can pick up the pace, and it would look something like this. But again, don't let those arms get swinging like this. I'm not looking for this running, swinging movement. I'm looking for control up and down. And you can see on the way down, I go a little bit slower. After this, we're going to triceps. For triceps, we'll be back on the floor again. And again, we're going to have that weight in our hands. Squeeze the belly. Keep breathing. I know it sounds strange to tell you to breathe. People like to hold the breath. We don't want to do that. Triceps are next. Keep going. Excellent job. Again, I hope you've got some great music going on. Maybe your favorite TV show is going on in the background. You're getting that 30 minutes of strength in there. The cardio part's up to you. You gotta go outside, you gotta do something. Again, maybe join in on one of our cardio classes. Go for a nice, quick jog. If you don't like jogging, go for a brisk walk. Go ahead and head down that floor. We're gonna move on to triceps. For triceps, we're gonna do an exercise called a skull crusher. Don't crush your skull. Heels are on the ground, just like when we were doing our chest press, right? Your elbows are gonna be, and your arms are gonna be directly above your shoulders, and the only place you're gonna bend is at the elbow. So don't swing the shoulders backwards and forwards, right? So set that spot, and all you're gonna do is bend those elbows and bring those weights right down to your forehead and then straight back up. Now you see where they're called skull crushers. The idea is to have both weights, one in each hand, bringing it straight down, controlling it, bringing it straight up. If you need to, because one weight is too heavy, or two weights is too heavy, hold them this way, straight down to the forehead, again, straight back up. And you notice the only part of my arm that is moving is my elbows, right? You're gonna squeeze on the way down, and you're gonna squeeze even harder on the way up. You can see my arm shaking. I don't know if you can see it that well, because I'm squeezing on the way up. Or again, we've got both. After this, we're gonna move to abs. We're not gonna concentrate on the lower back, because without me actually being there with you to guide you one-on-one or be able to walk around the room, I don't wanna risk a lower back injury by having you do a couple of exercises. So we're gonna just think, we're gonna get the front core, we're gonna get the obliques, which is the side, and the lower back. When you were doing those flies, that back exercise, you got a little bit of that lower back too. After this, you're already on the floor, so it's perfect. You're gonna be right where you need to be. And you're gonna hate this exercise. But if we're only doing one for abs, we want to make sure we get as many as the abs as we can. Keep breathing. Focus on that squeeze on the way back up. There you go. Almost there. Don't let that shoulder move. So 30 seconds. Put those weights off to the side. You don't need them. Make sure you got a little bit of room, because you're going to stretch out nice and tall. What you're going to do is what I call a cross toe touch. You're going to lay back nice and straight. You're going to take your right hand, you're going to take it to your left toe. Your knee and your nose are going to meet right in the middle over the top of your belly button. Then you're going to do the other side. Left hand, right toe. Knee and nose meet in the middle over the belly button. This one is brutal. Take it at a nice slow pace. So we start out here, all the way stretched out. Right hand, left toe. Left hand, right toe. Right hand, left toe. Left hand, right toe. Knee and nose meeting right in the middle. Don't knock yourself in the nose. Keep breathing. Get that hand to the outside of your foot. Out. Back out. And again, keep that pace. Keep your pace. It might be faster than mine. It might be slower than mine. It's yours. And that's all that's important. I told you these were horrible. You're starting to feel them, right? After this, we move into the lower body. Starting with the glutes. And of course, for the glutes, we're going to do squats. Then I have an interesting one for your quads. Then hamstrings and calves. You still have 45 seconds. Remember, if you take that break, come back in. Good, solid core work. Seconds. I know it hurts. It's good for you. Almost there. A little more. Listen for that beep. Oh. Squats. Standing up. Remember, you got 30 seconds to get there. You can do these with or without the weights. That's up to you. Feet a little wide, shoulder width apart. Maybe even the toes bent out. I'm going to use one weight. I'm going to do what's called a hang squat. So I'm going to hold that weight directly in front of me and try and get it as low to the ground as possible. Here we go. Trying to get it nice and low. Standing back up. Push the glutes back. Glance down. Is your knee behind your toe, right? If you were to let your hand run down and put it right on the front of your knee, or your arm, where would it hit, right? We don't want this. We don't want to push those knees out. We want to rock back, put all the weight in our heels, squat down, keeping that chest up nice and tall, and stand it back up. Keep looking forward. Don't look down at the ground. Look forward. Keep breathing. Remember, you can do this with or without the weight. But I'm looking for that consistency. That entire 2 minutes. Same rules apply. Squat down. Squeeze on the way up. So maybe a little bit longer when you come up. There we go. Doing well. You're doing awesome. Again, you got 45 seconds to go. The next exercise after this is going to seem a little strange. You're going to feel it. And your leg might actually cramp up as you're doing it. Okay? It's a little bit different exercise for a quad. And you're going to be down on the floor. You're going to be sitting on the floor. Just so you know it's coming. Check those knees every now and then. You should be able to glance down and see that they're in line with your toes, not in front of them. Squeeze, squeeze. Here we go. So for your next exercise, what I need you to do is sit on the floor. Put your legs out in front of you, a slight bend in your knee. You may be able to put your legs completely flat on the ground. Your heels will be down on the ground, your toes will be up. As a beginner to this, you're probably going to want to slight bend in the knee. Hands are slightly behind you, help support. Squeeze the belly, help the lower back. Get ready. All you're going to do is lift your leg up in front of you. So lift, put it back down. Lift, back down. The straighter you can sit up, and the straighter you can get your legs, the more it's going to work that quad. So if you have a wall that you can sit up against, that's even better. Other than that, all you're doing is kicking that leg up in front of you. Right? I know. You never thought some little teeny tiny move like this, you can feel it in that quad, right? Again, the straighter you can get your leg, meaning that if you come straight up and it comes straight down and flat to the ground, the more you're going to feel it in that quad. If it gets to be a little too much, bend the knee a little bit more, right? Or lean back a little bit more. Kind of lean back onto those elbows. You can see I get a bigger range of motion here, right? But I'm not feeling it as much. I'm feeling it here, but not as much. So again, to whatever your flexibility, mobility will allow you to do, and you're just going to keep lifting those legs. If they cramp up, take a second. breathing, keep squeezing. 40 seconds to go. Then we're going to go into bridges, and that is for the back of the leg. What we're going to do with that is we're going to give you a couple options. You can do both legs on the ground for the entire 2 minutes, or you can do all of it on one leg for 1 minute and one leg for another minute. I'm going to do the single leg option, but I will show you the other, and I'll show you during that 30-second rest. Almost there. Okay, so for the glute bridge, what you're going to have is your heels are going to be on the floor, slightly wider than shoulder width apart. You're going to have your hands, try not to put them along next to your sides, because I don't want you to be tempted to push up. All you're going to do is lift those glutes as high as you can off the ground, bring them down, let them barely touch the ground, and then come back up. This is the double leg option, okay? If you're going to do this, you can do this for the entire 2 minutes. Squeeze at the top, come down nice and slow, barely tap the ground. If you're doing the single leg, right leg up in the air, left leg in that same position, and all you're going to do is lift and lower with just that left leg. If you're feeling it more in your quad, push your heel out a little bit further, and you'll feel it more in that hamstring, which is the back of the leg. That's the muscle we're going for. We already got the quad. Same thing with a double leg. If you're feeling it in the quad, the front of the leg, push that heel out a little further. We still have 24 seconds on this side if you're doing the single side. The leg that's up in the air, doesn't really matter if it's completely straight. You see that mine aren't. I have the tightest hamstrings on the face of the planet from all that cycling. 5 more seconds. Switch legs if you're doing single leg. Right leg on the ground, left leg up in the air. Give me that lift and lower. You might find one leg is a little bit stronger than the other, which is why it's nice to do opposites, right? So then we're strengthening that one leg. Notice I don't have my hands on the ground because I don't want to be tempted to push through my hands. I've got my elbows on the ground, helping to support that back. Again, when you come down, tap it for about a second or so. Come back up. You should be feeling it in the back of the leg. If you want to make it a little bit more difficult with both legs, you can put them up on something like a chair. And then it'll give you a greater angle that you're pushing up. 17 seconds, then we go to calves. And after calves, we're done. Nose to toes. Just about there. Seconds. Now for your calves, you've got a couple of options. One hurts more than the other. First option, you're going to get down to what I call a catcher position. So it means you're going to be down like you're catching a baseball. Notice my heels are not on the floor. My toes are, right? And all I'm going to do is go up on my toes and come back down. And up on my toes and come back down, right? The other option, feet together. Down in that squatted position, up on the toes, back down. So it looks like this from the side. Toes, back down. Go ahead and go, either one. This one allows the heels to touch for a second or two, gives you that little bit of break. Whereas this one, you're engaging those calves the entire time. And I trust me, if you're doing this one for the entire 2 minutes, you're going to feel it when you stand up. Right? So all you're doing, rolling up on those toes even further, coming back down. If your calves start to cramp, maybe do the standing version. I'll even give you the 1 minute left time so that you can switch over if you'd like to. You got about 15 seconds to go. Then you'll have a minute left. These might be starting to cramp up a little bit. So you can go back to that standing one. If you're in the standing one, keep going. You got a minute to go. You're doing great. You're starting to feel it, huh? You can do these by adding weight. You can hold on to a weight. It doesn't matter if it's resting on your leg because all you're doing is adding the weight to it, right? Baseball season may not be happening. Now you feel for those poor little catchers that used to sit behind the batter, right? And they would sit in this position for the entire game. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to see their calves. They're probably huge. 30 seconds to go. If you're starting to feel that burn, you might even be feeling it a little bit on the quad, a little bit on the inner and outer thigh, because you're having to hold yourself there. Those legs are getting some extra work in. 15 seconds. I know it burns. Trust me. I'm right there with you. 8 seconds. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Put your hands in front of you when you go to stand up, because right now your legs are like, what was that? Oh my goodness. Shake it out for a second. Oh, wow. Right? Give it that couple extra seconds. We're going to go ahead and go into those couple stretches. We're going to do a standing quad stretch where you test your balance. So go ahead and grab your right toe with your left hand. Heel of the butt. Woo! Knee to the floor. Balance isn't really good after doing that quad and that calf. Give it a nice pull. Switch sides. Grab onto something if you need it. Take a second. There you go. Take that foot that you just did all that calf work on. Point your toe. Lift it off the ground. Do some circles. Other direction. Other foot. Circles. Other direction. Feet wide and shoulder width apart. Bend the knees slightly. Take that entire lower body down to the floor. Push those hands back behind you. Feel that stretch in the back of the leg. Hands over to the outside of the right foot. A little bigger stretch on that right side. Over to the outside of the left foot. Same thing. Bigger stretch on that side. Back over to center, roll up nice and slow. Take those arms back around behind you. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And arms in front of you. Push through that back. Cave that chest in. Right hand over the top of the body. Give that shoulder a little wiggle so that it falls down into place. Give it a nice pull. And other side, same thing. Take that left arm across. Give it a little wiggle so that shoulder drops down. And give it a nice little pull. There you go. Excellent job. Replay this as many times as you need. Remember, this was full body, nose to toes. Cardio is on you. Next week, lower body. The week after that, upper body. Because then you can do multiple days. You can do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and have upper body, full body, and lower body. Hope to see you next week. Thanks for coming.